Thanks for joining Veiled Mystic today as we examine shapeshifting. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this presentation. The ancient history and modern mystery of shapeshifting. Shapeshifting, the supernatural ability to physically transform into another being or creature, permeates global legend and lore. Tales of sorcerers morphing into animals and deities using illusion to change form date back over 4,000 years to ancient India, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. Shapeshifting abilities have been ascribed to shamans, witches, gods, demons, and mythic heroes from the furthest reaches of antiquity right into the modern era. While scientific consensus denies the possibility of actual bodily transformation between physical states, first-hand accounts and uncanny similarities across traditions still inspire awe and speculation. Continue reading for an in-depth examination of shapeshifting's mysterious origin story across cultures and through the ages. Early shapeshifting tales and cave paintings. Most scholars trace the earliest known depictions of shapeshifting back to cave paintings from 6000 to 10,000 BC. Excavated sites stretching from France to South Africa contain animal-human hybrid figures dancing healing rituals. Deer antlers sprout from some shamans while others wear fursuits or masks. Alongside are entranced dance scenes of therianthropy featuring human-to-beast transformation mid-motion. Figures change from people to swarming bees, charging buffalo, stalking felines. This primordial era spawned the foundation for humanity's enduring belief that exceptional individuals could transcend physical form. Further indications of early Greek, Minoan, Phoenician, and Celtic religious rituals involved invoking animal embodiments date back over 3,500 years. Legends tell of ancient cultures witches on the Black Sea shapeshifting into owls and wolves. Temple artifacts across the Fertile Crescent depict gods like Baal, Anu, and Marduk changing into bulls and dragons at will. The iconic imagery from this pivotal period seems to capture ancient rituals designed to invoke transformative states and even animal embodiment. Shamans likely aim to gain strengths, powers, and perspectives of alternate forms by blurring boundaries between human and beast. Shapeshifting in early literature and scripture. The first known written accounts specifically describing supernatural shapeshifting come from Vedic scriptures of ancient India dating back over 3,000 years. Historic Sanskrit epics like the Ramayana 500 BC and Mahabharata 400 BC contain many incidents of physical shapeshifting. Divine sages, powerful kings, and mischievous demons display abilities to transform at will into animals like birds and horses. These stark examples, treated matter-of-factly as abilities ascribed to powerful beings, offer concrete evidence that belief in shapeshifting permeated ancient Eastern philosophy. References to changing physical forms also abound in ancient Greek texts like Homer's Odyssey and Iliad 800 BCE. The Roman poet Ovid's Metamorphosis 8c consists of hundreds of transformation stories often used as source material. Greek deities notoriously disguise themselves as animals, humans of the opposite sex, even objects to trick and manipulate mortals. This casual cataloguing of shapeshifting reveals the phenomenon was an accepted part of ancient mythological worldviews. Even the earliest recorded holy scriptures contain unmistakable references indicating widespread cultural belief. The Zoroastrian Avesta 600 BCE details spiritual heroes transforming the weather and changing shape. The Jewish Talmud 200 BCE contains commentary cautioning about accusations against women shapeshifting into animals. Numerous verses of the Bible also make metaphorical mention of transformations between human and beast forms. Interestingly, most portray the phenomenon as dangerous, unnatural, or demonic. The ubiquitous casual integration across early religious texts demonstrates belief in exceptional individuals possessing transformative supernatural powers extends back to antiquity. Shapeshifting traditions in native tribes and folklore. Examining shapeshifting lore handed down by global indigenous oral traditions also offers insight into principles underlying the phenomena. As European colonizers made contact with remote native tribes over past centuries, they documented many startling accounts of witch doctors and shamans definitively shapeshifting into animals. In America Midwest, Ojibwe tribes spoke of medicine men becoming thunderbirds. Pueblo elders cautioned about witches who grew feathers to fly at night. Central American Maya and Olmec traditions trace sorcerers back toward jaguars. Brazilian Tupi people possess songs recounting elders morphing into snakes by the light of the moon. Aboriginal Australians related Dreamtime mythology telling of ancient shamans traversing the spirit plane to speak with animal guardians by assuming their forms. The isolated native cultural histories share uncanny similarities related to transcending physical form pointedly, not just allegorically. The common threads suggest archetypal primal practices tied to early spiritual ritual. Likewise, European folk tales brim with witches, wizards, and the occasional peasant shapeshifting into night-roving wolves and owls by rubbing ointments on their bodies. French loup-garou, Hungarian toltos, German hexen, Slavic vedmake, virtually every folk magic tradition across pre-modern Europe tells cautionary tales against meddling with forces allowing bodily transformation into beasts. Baltic, Slavic, and Romanian vampire legends even recount the undead morphing into bats, rats, and insects. From Sami mystics in the Scandinavian tundra to Romani mystics in Spain, gleaning wisdom from animal embodiment via out-of-body travel permeates traditional shamanic practices tied to earth-based spirituality. Examining the sheer variety of esoteric mystical traditions, definitively referencing shapeshifting reveals why the phenomena so captivates imagination. It hints at profound connection between humanity and environment now forgotten. Magic, witchcraft, and supernatural powers. Pagan, occult, and esoteric traditions closely linking magic with achieving transcendence underpin why shapeshifting so consistently appears alongside spellcraft and sorcery. Since prehistory, shamans worldwide relied on magical talismans, psychoactive plants, and arcane rituals to access supernatural realms. Symbols of transformation like snakes, dragons, and half-beast idols relate to deciphering the secrets of nature. Glimpsing the unseen workings binding reality allowed exceptional adepts to intuitively grasp how to seemingly override physical laws via magical forces. Mastery of ethereal spirit domains ostensibly enabled directing mystical energies toward bodily transmutation across kinship lines between species. Only those who walk between worlds could shape destiny to their will. This shamanic understanding of penetrating beyond surface reality to manipulate deeper cosmic mechanisms through sacred practice explains the logic underlying shapeshifting's connection with witchcraft. Only by attuning to the profound universal currents flowing through all living beings and environmental elements could access to such extraordinary abilities manifest. Mundane existence bounds most within the perceived limits of human experience, but ritual initiation offered the promise of transcending corporeal limits by awakening dormant intuitive faculties, unlocking the gates between states of being bestowed profound benefits both magical and spiritual. Small wonder that shapeshifting factored so prominently in occult traditions from Druidic orders to American brujeria, witchcraft. Mastery over transmutation symbolized mastery over fate itself. Psychic shapeshifting through dreams and visions. Beyond folklore and shamanic ritual, modern occult movements also provide clues to interpreting shapeshifting phenomena through subtle body travel and astral projection. Spiritualist research conducted over the past century definitively documents consciousness exists independently of corporeal form through near-death experiences, remote viewing, and shared visions. The human energy body anchored to the physical via etheric cord apparently retains both sentience and subjective form when detached. In this context, shamanic transformation ceremonies and self-identification with animal species likely involves full sensory embodiment within morphic spirit energy fields. The visualizations tap archetypal imagery stamped deep within psyches through humanity's evolutionary journey. Transcendent visions shaped by psychic awareness rather than biology. Dream shapeshifting experiences further support the notion that under certain visionary states, spirit consciousness can transition between energy-based bodies and hybrid forms. Perhaps the physical neural networks act as tuning mechanisms selecting psychic wavelengths. Much like a radio dial, brainwave states filter potential experiential channels of perception. Meditative trances open passageways to exploratory consciousness, not unlike lucid dreams. Visualized embodiment generates sensory immersion within chosen forms. Such mercurial mobility makes ostensibly impossible transitory manifestation achievable. Disciplined mental and intuitive focus combined with open psychic channels conceivably allows traversing psychedelic landscapes far beyond ordinary limits. The shamanic breakthrough reveals all reality as multidimensional fluctuation of the same essence, separation and illusion of the limited senses. Evidence for cross-culturally consistent the kin shapeshifting. Perhaps the most fascinating modern phenomenon supporting psychic reality behind bodily transformation is the little-known but growing the kin community. And the kin identifies as an animal, mythical creature, or non-human entity categorically different than present biology. While clinical models categorize such self-perception as neurodivergent delusion, the kin posit it stems from incarnating with mismatched energetic and corporeal forms. They believe consciousness can transfer between lifetimes and planes retaining past life memories, especially feelings of former embodiment. Rapidly proliferating internet forums provide evidence that the kinds of beings identified with share consistent qualities worldwide. Canines, wolves, foxes, and dogs represent lively wild independence. Felines, cats embody feminine grace yet ferocity and stealth. Reptiles, snakes and lizards signify shedding egoistic constraints. Avians, birds convey unbounded flight and celestial perspectives. Equines, horses reflect strength, stamina, and emotional sensitivity. Mythics, dragons, angels, elves channel magic and creative force. The psychology suggests archetypal longings and ideals subconsciously shape self-perception more than random delusion would explain. Combined with shared visionary experiences, the striking cross-cultural continuity indicates deeper universality behind prevailing folklore tropes. Perhaps dormant ancient memories ripple like stray radio signals still emanating within depths of psyche. Resurgent curiosity reflects profound shift underway in collective world use. If alternate forms and planes exist parallel to perceived reality, the possibility of consciously traversing them appears far less fantastic. The phenomenon echoes believer accounts of alien abduction, that is until realizing comparably bizarre NDE recollections surface across eras. Humanity yet struggles grasping multidimensionality despite exponential science affirming existence as energy before matter. So while strictly physical shape-changing may remain confined to fantasy, clearly psychic experience validating subtle but alive forms defies materialist reduction. The deeper mystery is what intensely consistent messages beyond language and culture the shapeshifting mythos channels. Untangling the esoteric wisdom promises illumination brighter than any dragon's golden hoard. Modern scientific speculation and skepticism. Despite extensive belief systems supporting bodily transformations spanning history, cultures, and esoteric traditions, modern science largely rejects shapeshifting as realistic. Physics recognizes drastic physical manipulation from science fiction fantasies or comic book heroes as outright fabrications. Scientists broadly deny viable mechanisms exist allowing anatomical structures to radically morph, much less transubstantiate entirely. Molecular cohesion alone seemingly prohibits rearranging cell tissue, skeletal proportions, and chemical composition. But pressed further, most researchers admit quantum-scale anomalous phenomenon do challenge paradigms about immutable physical laws. Fantastical phenomena increasingly gain traction in cutting-edge theory seeking to reconcile the divide between particles and waves or define dark matter's role influencing reality. Microbiology reveals organisms like octopi altering skin textures, chameleons shifting colors, and planaria regrowing complete bodies from fragments possess innately malleable membranes and tissues due to adaptive evolutionary advantages. Genetic chimerism demonstrates integrated fusion between multiple fertilized zygotes defies assumed boundaries. Epigenetics further illustrates environment impacts phenotypic expression skipping generations by activating latent blueprints within DNA itself. Meanwhile, virtual simulation hypotheses propose probability that reality emanates from calculation rather than fundamental essence. Even mainstream dogma now accepts evidence of neurological neuroplasticity allowing radical psychosomatic self-reprogramming. While proof positive of supernatural shapeshifting may remain scientifically dubious, clearly mechanistic assumptions lose credibility upon deep investigation into the infinitely strange inner workings of reality. Magic becomes mundane, miracles emerge from the quantum foam. Discounting potentials beyond conceived limits risks blinding insight. Mystery ever beckons from the edges of the firelight, refusing relegation to fantasy's abyss alone. The inexorable march of innovation toward increasing biological manipulation and virtuality promises to further erode rigid skepticism. Perhaps one day awakened minds will reminisce of lost golden ages, when rain fell as water rather than data and bodies freely flowed between flesh, fur and feathers unbound by laws of men or constraint of mortal imagination. The enduring allure and archetypal appeal. Despite doubts over actualization, the enduring appeal of shapeshifting as concept seems undeniable. The transformative ability captivates creative fantasy across artistic mediums, young adult fiction bestsellers, Hollywood CGI blockbusters, anime illustrations and comic publishers all leverage audiences' attraction to protean heroes mastering bodily change like rare weapon. Tabletop gamers endlessly customize characters, costumes and powers to unlock greater agency and control over destiny itself. The soul yearns through archetypal tropes reaching back from ancestors born of wild savanna twilight, when stars yet walk the earth. A glimpse of perfect adaptation promises liberating transcendental futures unlimited by frail or foreign flesh. What caged mind hasn't imagined the exhilaration of flight unbound by gravity? Who hasn't visualized penetrating the veil between worlds where reality mutates to thought and dream made manifest? Even if banishing illness or conquering natural law exceeds grasp, the shapeshifter's journey hints that astonishing transformation awaits exploration in worlds within. Psychic skills cultivated by ancient or modern mystics at minimum reshape health, relationships, and life's rhythms toward more empowered states. Mastering perception grants authority over any form. In practice, most incarnates bind themselves by rigid patterns, whether to seem normal, fit in, or conform to cultural expectations and prescribed roles. But renouncing reflexive self-judgment and celebrating unique passions and weirdness undermines consensus delusion. The shapeshifter embraces radical intention toward envisioned destiny that bypasses both fear and taboo. Discovering authentic purpose and attuning existence toward it allows self-actualization no matter the seeming impossibility. Visualizing desired reality exerts attraction across infinite possibility space, especially when perspectives expand beyond single body or lifespan. By proxy, the multidimensional self samples all embodiments imaginable, thus nullifying external limitations. Fantasy morphs flesh, wings tear fickle fabric. Consciousness spread thin only perceives cage bars, condensed and embodied it apprehends the law. Whether through vision quest or intrepid sci-fi tales, the shapeshifter archetype reminds people that aligning motivations transcends circumstance. Inner light shines the same regardless adornments donned or forms assumed. The eternal witness persists through all transformations, the realm walker moves between worlds at will. The imminent age already dawns. Reality loses static solidity, bodies meld with machines. Gene therapy alters cell lines, cross-species organ transplants become commonplace, and gender transitions pass without prejudice. As medical technology increasingly modifies human characteristics once considered immutable, mystic visions of old seem born anew. The future approaches where flesh interface plugs enable downloading skills akin to uploaded initiation, bestowing posthuman attributes. Nano-injections may overlay energetic resonance fields, facilitating consciousness cohesion across any substrates. Where then constructs validating existence dependent on physical consistency. Through sacred practice, the promised post-avatar age commences, resurrecting dormant biopsychic potential like mythic prophecy foretold. Yogis teach transforming one molecule makes all possible. Shapeshifters dance betwixt raindrops without ever getting wet, seeking the deeper truths underneath surface distraction. The vast remainder of reality's possibility space awaits exploration beyond language, where self-swim cosmic seas, blending impossible potentialities like whale-sounding sonic holograms intended just to delight the playful mind. All natural law merely suggestion ripe for transcendence should such feats speak to sovereign soul. What creative dreams manifest one's present states prove themselves layers of lesser illusion. Recall that only recently alchemists claimed power over transmutation of base elements, while pioneers envisioned steel birds and networks uniting minds. Conceiving the inconceivable collapses linear floors of presumed impossibility, revealing destiny's unbounded staircase. Shining eyes regard all rising change not with fear, but excitement, overflowing wonders chalice full prepared. A single choice shapeshifts the emerging moment, witness waking reality through perception of limitation or abundance. Both visions attract their flocks now gathering. All potentials converge in the quickening. Holofractal gloves peel away, exposing consciousness unity to awareness unconfined. Incarnate awakens amidst the glimmering cosmic dressing room, where all guises hang awaiting selection before the next phenomenal fashion show begins. The multidimensional being dons vulnerability and divinity with equal ease, assured by eternal identity persisting throughout all iterations of form. When self-perception ceases fixation on static vessels, transformation becomes constant, witnessing stream of change without attachment. Identity coalesces, empowered projection beaming through the mortal prison rather than fragile brittle shell fearing loss. Then spirit strides foremost, fully embodied, while shapes cascade outward from sovereign source.